Welcome back to my channel. I'm Maggie Ostara, and I'm delighted that you're here. Today, we're going to dive into the very first human design transit for the month of June 2024. And we've got some really potent energies coming up. So let's go ahead and find out what's happening. Let's dive in. Let's note first that we have a complete channel that's being lit up the 1648, which I did talk about extensively in the major themes for the month of June. You can go and watch that video if you haven't seen it already, because I go into what's happening with this particular channel and the gate 16 in particular, and some detail in that report. So go ahead and check that out. But just know here that this is an opportunity for us because the South Node is transiting the gate 48. The gate 48 is the gate of depth or the will in the I Ching and in traditional human design, or wisdom in quantum human design. And the South Node is really asking us to process what we brought in with us as far as karma has to go, and also to take a look at how we experienced our early life and what is it that we want to continue to evolve and grow, and what do we want to let go of. And that's totally appropriate for the gate 48, which is really all about that, because the 48 is how do we create wisdom through research, through life experience, through engaging with life, and that all comes together. And then having the 16 activated, which is the gate of zest, I love that, is being able to articulate that and express it so that we can also share that with each other. And I think this is such a apropos transit because, in our world today, we really are looking at what is the karma that we brought with us through generations and generations and generations. And what do we need to do with that? How do we help evolve maybe historical patterns, historical traumas, historical ways that we fought with each other? How do we grow and evolve that so that we can step into being more compassionate, being more caring, and creating a more equitable and a more just world? So this is a theme that's going to be going on really all the way through mid-July as well. So take a few minutes to consider that for yourself, and know that you're going to have an opportunities as a number of different planets are going to be cycling through that for you to get to explore it. And you'll notice here with this channel that the throat is being defined, and also the spleen. So if you have the throat or the spleen open in your chart, you will feel these energies more than other people. I know for me, I have that spleen defined, I have the 48 defined, but not the 16. So during these transits, I'm going to be getting extra ability to communicate and express my wisdom. So check that out for yourself. Pull out your own human design chart. See if you have this center defined or not. See if you have this center or defined or not, and maybe do a little research to find out more about what they're about, and really take advantage of this definition if it's coming to you with this transit. And on June 1st, the sun is going to move into the gate 35. So the gate 35, it's over here on the throat center. We've got a lot of activations in the throat center this month. But we've got this 35 that is lit up by the sun. This is known as change in traditional human design, or experience in quantum human design. And so this is right-brained energy. It's creative, it's embodied, and most importantly, it's experiential. This is a beautiful energy for wanting to engage with life, wanting to really grow yourself, to enjoy yourself, to engage with yourself, with others, and with everything that's going on around you through life experience. That's why it's called experience. And it's not analytical. It's not strategic or any of those things. It's really kind of like, let's just go do it. Let's just go give it a try. So while the sun is lighting this up, give yourself an opportunity maybe to go and try out some things, experience some things that you've thought about, but that you haven't given any attention to. I also want to note that the new moon, which is happening on the 6th of June, will be lighting up the gate 35, as well as Mercury. So we're going to have 3 different activations in the gate 35 on the new moon. You'll always find the new moon right next to the sun. whether that's in the gate in the human design system or whether it's in the same astrological sign. So this is a new moon in Gemini because the sun is now in Gemini and they're both in that gate 35. So we also have Mercury there, and Mercury helps also give voice to things, right? Mercury is what we're here to talk about. Mercury is the god of communication. And Mercury also rules the sign of Gemini. So we've got a lot of mercurial energy here. Okay. So there's a lot of communication, and we want to be paying attention to how clear and concise that communication is, because sometimes it can get mercurial, right? Which is a lot of. So while we're doing this, you have the opportunity to plant seeds for yourself during this new moon. And if you're planting seeds in the gate 35, then you might want to be looking at what are some new experiences that you want to have. And also, what are some things you want to give voice to, because Mercury is there as well. So this is a beautiful exercise that you can do in particular on the new moon on June 6th. You can even see here in this image that I have on the left, I took a little snapshot from the mandala. And if you look there at the gate 35, you can see that all three of them are lined up in that particular gate. It's kind of cool, right? Happens every now and again when we get a bunch of activations in a gate. And that's what's happening with this new moon. Then the sun in the 35 is going to be resting on the earth in the gate 5. So the gate 5 is in the pattern circuit or the logic circuit. So it's a very different kind of core energy than that of the 35. The thing about the 5, though, is it is in those patterns, and it's named consistency in quantum human design. But it's really about the rhythm of the natural world, the rhythm of the living world. And so even though it is in the logic circuit, it's not particularly strategic in that way. It really does have to do with cycles and rhythms and so on. And so we want to be able to ground on ourselves in this sense of what is happening in the living world. And depending on where you are in the world now, you're either heading into the apex of summer or you're heading into the apex of winter. And so looking at what's happening during this transit of what's going on in the living world and seeing if you can kind of ground yourself in that, if you can align yourself with that rhythm and find pleasure and enjoyment and a sense of connection by checking out what's going on in the living world. You know, when we tend to get to these apexes of energy, whether it's summer or winter, these are the times when we are often doing a lot to control the temperatures in our homes, whether that is to cool it off in summer or to warm it up in winter. And this really kind of disconnects us to what's going on out there in the living world. Now, I'm not saying don't use any heat if it's cold where you are, or not use any, fans or air conditioning if it's super hot where you are. But I know for me, I really try to use a minimal amount of climate control so that I can really stay connected to and feel the changes in the seasons. Now, I'm better able to do that than somebody who's living in a super hot place or a place that's super cold. But even so, just paying attention to what's going on out there can be very beneficial, because when we spend too much of our time and our energy in the digital world and we ignore our relationship to the living world, it's actually really hard on our health, because we're not separate from the living world and we are always dynamically in relationship to whatever's going on with the sun and the earth. And we ignore it at our peril. And yet we do that a lot. So this is an opportunity during this transit for you to be really grounding yourself in what's happening in the living world, and how is that foundation of my relation to the living world going to give me the ability to have life experiences that are joyful for me and interesting for me and, transformative for me, which is what the sun will be about, right? If we're grounding in our relationship to the living world, then we can reach out and be like, okay, now I can go out and experience life. And I want to let you know you can get the images for the June transit report if you choose to. I know a bunch of you got them for May last month. And so you just need to go to sovereigntybydesign.com/June images to get them. And it's free to download them. And do let me know how you like having them. They're going to be different this month because the backgrounds are different. And so, give me some feedback. Let me know how you're enjoying them and if there's things that you would love to see that aren't in them already. And then I want to let you know about an event that I'm doing in the Becoming Sovereign Quantum Retreat Center on June 18th. And it's an Ask Me Anything event. So this is a great opportunity. If you have a question about your human design chart, if you have a question about human design in general, if you have a question about feminine sovereignty, if you have a question about your evolutionary journey and you just like some support with that, any of those are fine. You can come and ask me anything and I'm happy to provide some support. So you just need to go and RSVP. It is inside of the Becoming Sovereign Quantum Retreat Center. So you do need to join that if you haven't already. And then you can come in and you can let me know what your question is and we'll get to chat on the 18th. I'm excited for this event and I hope I'll get to see you there. All right. Many blessings. Much love. Bye for now.